This is a Jerico 5-speed dog box transmission. It's not broken, but it's coming apart. I want to clean it properly, inspect it, and more importantly, show it actually separates a serious race transmission from everything else. Jerico transmissions come from environments where missed shifts and weak parts aren't tolerated. Circle track racing, drag racing, places where the drivetrain either survives or it just plain doesn't. This isn't a synchronized transmission like you would find in a street car. This is a true dog box. No synchros, no waiting, just gears, dog rings, and instant shifts. That's why you see transmissions like this in late model dirt cars, drag cars, road race builds, and even high power drift cars where reliability matters more than comfort. This transmission isn't being torn down because it failed. There's no catastrophic damage forcing this apart. Not to my knowledge, because I've never taken this apart before, and it's been in my possession for quite some time. The case is dirty, the hardware has surface rust, and instead of just cleaning the outside, I want to do this the right way. Inspect it, understand it, and put it back together properly. Race parts tell you a lot by how they wear. It's always better to learn now than on track. As we start pulling this case apart, I'm going to show you the differences between a normal transmission and a purpose-built race transmission, and also be comparing the Jerico 5-speed to a G-Force GSR 4-speed dog box that I'm actually very familiar with. This is my first time tearing into one of these Jericos, so I'm genuinely curious to see how it's laid out, and hopefully we can learn something together along the way. So let's dive into it. Now we finally get to see what's inside this Jerico 5-speed. I'm definitely impressed. I'm actually really glad nothing is broken inside, because this is actually the first time I've ever taken one of these apart. Even when I received this transmission, I didn't know what I was getting. It could have been broken internally, it could have been extremely used and abused, and so far, everything is looking really, really good. All the gears look really good, all the shafts look really, really good, all the splines, all the dog rings, nothing is rusted, which is rad. Even just by turning it, everything feels extremely smooth. I did kind of notice, it looks like right here we got a little bit of a worn dog ring, but the rest of the teeth on this ring actually don't look too bad. The rest of them look pretty good. As you can see, this one's engaged, so that's what it looks like when it's engaged. It's really cool to actually see what this looks like inside compared to the G-Force GSR trans. This obviously is a 5-speed trans. The G-Force GSR is a 4-speed transmission. Now I'm going to take a wild guess that this is first gear, this is second gear, third, fourth, and fifth. I think that should, I can kind of tell just by the different tooth sizes, because obviously we got, a big gear here, we have a really, really small gear here, which kind of tells me that this ratio is pretty drastic, compared to, you look at these two gears here and they're very kind of similar in size. So that kind of tells me that this is your first gear, and then second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, but I could be completely wrong. I don't have a diagram. I've never taken one of these apart. If this was a G-Force GSR, I would know exactly which one is first, second, third, and fourth. Correct me in the comments. If you guys know what gears I'm looking at, leave me a comment. Anyways, so let's get back to talking about the internals of this guy. Let's just say if this is first gear, and then here's second gear, third, fourth, and fifth, just if I'm wrong, correct me, whatever. But what I am noticing right off the bat in between this transmission and the G-Force GSR is that, let's pretend that if this was just a 4-speed trans, you would have a girdle, like a support in between these two gears. It would actually sit right in between. So it's kind of like a truss, like a brace, so you have two gears on one side and two gears on the other, and then your brace in the center that would actually increase the strength capacity, right? Because it's not putting a whole lot of strain, on the whole shafts, however they're connected. What I'm seeing is there's like a girdle in between, say, like first and second gear, and your second to fifth gear, it's completely open. Now, I can understand why a G-Force GSR is stronger in that sense, because the majority of the time you're going to be spending is in these gears than, just first gear. So that's what I'm kind of noticing right off the bat. The other thing is the gears themselves are very similar to what you'll find in a G-Force GSR. GSR, those being what they call is straight cut gears. So every single one of these are straight cut gears. It's not, you know, the gears that you're going to find in your T56 where the gears actually kind of have like a little curve to them. And the whole purpose behind the curve is to just kind of make them quieter, you know, versus these style transmissions are extremely loud. Not only do you hear the shifts, but even just coasting and just idling along, you will definitely hear these gears hum. And just to give you a little bit of an example, I'm going to post up a video of my BMW E92 that's got a G-Force GSR in it. You'll hear the shift right now, and you'll just hear the transmission coasting. Another thing that you guys probably are wondering, this is the input shaft, here is your output shaft. The input shaft is actually extremely long because usually they actually put a little spacer that goes in between the transmission and the bell housing. So the spacer goes here and then your bell housing sits about here. I'm going to take a very wild guess that the whole purpose behind the long input shaft and the spacer here is just to scoot the transmission further back away from the engine and also get the shifter closer to the driver, because I know in a lot of road race cars that they put these in, the driver sits really far back in the car and they need to get that shifter closest to the driver as possible. And if it's super up front, then you got to do some crazy extended linkage and stuff like that. Drop it in the comments. Maybe you guys have a different theory of why that's so long. To me, like, this is a 26 spline GM input shaft, and this one is pretty big. I'm not going to sit here and count all of them, but I'm going to take a wild guess that it's got to be, you know, 30 plus spline, maybe a 31, 32, or a 33. It's definitely a beefcake of an output shaft that probably can take a lot of horsepower. One thing I actually do like about this transmission as well is this split case kind of design. Actually, I hate it. I don't like it because of, I don't think it's as strong. I do love it because let's say you want to make a gear change. This is incredibly easy just to pop that case off and boom, there you go. You can just pull this whole assembly apart and start to make your gear changes. In a GSR, you actually have to slide this whole assembly out of the case through the back. So the back cover comes off and this whole thing will have to come out this way, versus this is completely exposed. I think that's rad. So I think that Jerico actually is a pretty cool design in that way. But like I said, I don't think it's as strong as a G-Force case. Another thing to point out is that this transmission actually has reverse. Two gears right here are. You can see the shift fork that moves this guy back and forth, right? So when it goes over here, it engages, say, your first gear, and then when it comes back this way, this gear engages with this. As you can see, it's not engaged, but when it comes back over here, engages reverse, and then you have reverse. Now, to show you guys how the gear actually engages is obviously by these dog rings. Now, for educational purposes, I just have a crescent wrench on here just to move this guy back and forth. Now, to engage the gear, now we're engaged into this gear, and I can already feel it by turning it. If we wanted to make a quick shift, let's say these are on D10, so I can feel it click in. Now we're engaged into this next gear over here, making it a extremely fast shift. That is the whole purpose behind these transmissions. These transmissions have to be shifted very aggressively. You cannot baby them, because if you try to shift it gently, it's just going to hit this and it's actually going to ruin it. You actually want to get this engaged as quick as possible so it doesn't chatter these gears. These are a lot different from your standard transmission, because a standard transmission isn't going to have, what is this, 6 or 7 teeth on it, versus your regular normal car manual transmission. It will have 3 times the amount of these teeth, which is why sometimes at high RPM you want to shift it into gear and it won't go into gear, because there's so many more teeth that need to mesh and come together, versus this guy, you got this big old gap where this piece can engage into this gap. That's what makes for the quick shifts, because it just finds a huge gap and bam, goes into gear, and there you go. And like I said, guys, I'm not claiming that I know everything about Jerico transmission. transmissions. I just have one and I'm taking it apart. Those of you that are actually experts in the Jerico 5-speed transmission, I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. You might teach me something. You might even teach my viewers something. So go ahead, maybe drop some knowledge that maybe I haven't shared on camera all about the Jerico 5-speed. All right, now that I got the whole gear set out of the case, we can check out and see what the case looks like. Case looks pretty good. I don't see any cracks. I don't see any, weird burrs or, whatever. Looks like the shift forks that you see here look like they're pretty good. I see a little bit of wear, not a whole lot. I've definitely seen worse. Typically on a G-Force GSR, sometimes these shift forks come in brass. I don't know if these, I don't know what material these are, but it's definitely not brass. These are definitely some form of steel. In a G-Force GSR, you can order it, with steel shift forks, or you can get it in brass. All the GSRs that I've bought in the past came with brass shift forks, and I've always upgraded them to steel shift forks because the brass ones have been known to crack. Looks like this already came with the steel ones, so that's pretty cool. It's also weird seeing three, because in the G-Force GSR you only have two sets, 2 shift forks, because obviously 4th gear, but this being 5-speed has 3 shift forks, so that's kind of interesting. Pretty cool too. They're actually, pretty bulky. I like how they have these little side, pieces kind of molded into them, nice and strong. Very cool. This is super, super cool, guys. I really had a fun time taking this transmission apart. Everything looks really good. Like I said, I just want to go ahead and give the cases, a nice, basically clean job, do a little bit of a repaint, put, some new gaskets in there. Definitely want to clean, this hardware, get the rust, off of this hardware, so when we go to reassemble it, this thing will literally be like new, because at the end of the day, this is pretty much not a new transmission, but I could see where it's got some light wear on it, but this is still a very good quality, from what I can see visually, transmission that I would definitely put in one of my drift cars, or just one of my cars in general. So I definitely want to clean all this stuff up and potentially put it in a project. I think it'd be fun to run this transmission. So this was a really fun project for me, guys. I really had a lot of fun taking apart the Jerico 5-speed dog box transmission. Like I said, never took one apart before. This was a learning experience for me. Hopefully you guys got to learn something. I know I learned some stuff. And then if anybody left a comment that has actually professionally worked with these, hopefully they drop some insight on the Jericho transmission that I can learn. Hopefully you can learn. If you guys haven't left me a like, go ahead and please leave me a like. If you haven't subscribed, please give me a subscribe so you can see more videos like this and a couple of different engine builds that I got going on in the future, as well as doing some experiments, weighing different engines, weighing different transmissions. I got a whole bunch of different videos that are going to be coming out soon, including, working on a couple of different drift cars. And lastly, thank you guys so much for the support and getting me to the 10,000 subscriber mark. That is incredibly rad. I thank each and every single one of you for the support. That is really, really cool. So thank you guys, and on to the next project.